goes. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to
Vaughn Radio.
It's Vaughn Radio, and this is the show with no name. Time for liftoff. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Come on. 3. You got it.
2, 1.
Here we go.
0. Ignition.
The moment you've been waiting for. Liftoff.
30 minutes after the hour.
Here we go. Come on.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time. On Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name. Let's go. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Show with no name.
Hands up. It's a roller coaster. Whoa. Hold on to your hats, folks. It's time for another exciting edition of, you guessed it, the show with no name. We're here to rock and roll. We're here to rock and roll you through your week in style, in English, and with a little bit of pizzazz. Do you know what this is? Pizzazz. Un poco de magia. Pizzazz. A ver cómo lo... Un poco de arte. Pizzazz. Vaya. Es como pizza con 2 zetas después. Pizzazz. Energía. Vigor. Vitality. Chispa. Spark. Or sparkle. Brillo. So we're here to teach you English with a little bit of pizzazz, a little bit of oomph, energía, and as always, ready to have fun. And I know you guys are all ready to have fun as well. I see it. I can feel it already. And I know you're warmed up. I know my buddy Fitz was warming you guys up. Awesome, guys. Well, welcome. Welcome to the show with no name. We have another exciting show for you. And man, we're going to play, we're going to laugh, and we're going to learn some English. And I just want to remind you, just a little reminder, recordatorio, if you haven't gotten your hands on it yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. I'm talking about this book is the shit.
Seguro que eres súper friki de Harry Potter y no te has dado cuenta de la cantidad de palabras que has aprendido sin darte cuenta. Por ejemplo, Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff viene de Huff and Puff, que es jadear, que estás agotado. Así que ya sabes por qué esta escuela se caracteriza por ser muy exigente y los alumnos van con la lengua fuera todo el día. They're huffing and puffing.
¿Y esa escuela que se llama Slytherin?
Slytherin, ¿de qué viene esa palabra?
To slither es lo que hace una serpiente.
Claro, por eso en esa escuela los alumnos son capaces de hablar con las serpientes. Y de hecho en el escudo viene una serpiente, tiene lógica. ¿Y qué me dices de Ravenclaw?
Esta tiene mucha chicha. It's very meaty.
Ravenclaw viene de Raven, que significa cuervo, y Claw, que significa garra. Es la garra del cuervo. Y si miras el escudo, ¿qué es lo que hay? Un cuervo con las garras agarrándose. ¿Quién habría dicho que podríamos aprender tantísimo viendo Harry Potter? Sabes muchísimas palabras gracias a Harry Potter, y no solo a Harry Potter, a películas, cómics, dibujos animados, videojuegos, todo incluido en This Book is the Shit, el tercer libro de Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
No te lo pierdas, así se aprende.
This book really is the shit. That's right, folks. Available everywhere. I know a lot of people have gotten their hands on it through the book fair in Madrid. Many people have ordered it online. You better pick up a copy, un ejemplar, quickly because they are selling like hotcakes. You say churros, we say they're selling like hotcakes, which is another way of saying pancakes. All right. Are you guys ready for your first challenge? I know you are. It's time for Pop Quiz. Sing it with me. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Come on. Pop Quiz. Hey, make it up. Put in your own Pop Quiz. Yeah. You know, improvise. Wing it. To wing it is improvisar. Oh, here it goes. The first hill. La primera bajada. Hands up. Whoa. Quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. All right, amigos. All right, it is our pop quiz. And can you guess where it's coming from today? It's coming straight out of the book, my latest book. This book is the shit. It's already a hit. A lot of people have gotten their hands on it and love it. I'm just waiting for you to get your hands on it and also to give me some feedback. It is the third. Let me clear up. I've received a couple questions. So people said, is this like a compilation of the first and the second one? No, not at all. This is a totally new book. Totally, I mean, the same concept, but obviously with 10 years of experience under our belt, with all new words. And as you guys know, one of the coolest parts is you can learn from video games, movies, music, and even by playing games. There are tons of challenges and games. There's a final exam as well. And you know what? I think we're going to get today's pop quiz right out of our final exam. But I just want to remind you guys really quickly, you can still come see us at Feria del Libro Madrid. I will be there Saturday, June 3rd. And Sunday, June 11th, from 11 to 2 p.m. I'll be there with Damian, having fun, signing books, taking selfies. It's stand 312. The closest entrance is Metro Ibiza. If you're going to be going to the park, Metro Ibiza. And I hope we can see everybody there. If you can't make it, you can pick it up at vontienda.com, which is our online bookshop. All right, well, let's take a look here at what we've got. As I said, we've got our examen final, which is at the end of the new book. By the way, the book has 256 pages. It is a thick book, and there are videos in every chapter to help you with pronunciation and things like that. So it is well worth it. Hey, maybe some of you are saying, I don't know. Guys, it's definitely worth it. We're so happy with it, and I've been getting so much feedback, and it's only been out for a few days. So that is amazing. Thank you, folks. By the way, once again, you know who you are. Joaquin, Carlos. I mean, I can't remember everybody's name who came, but you know who you are. I want to send a special shout out to all the bus drivers out there. EMT in the house. EMT. What's up? What's up to all of you who showed up? If you'd like to show up, again, we'll be there June 3rd. That's this coming Saturday. And then the last day, June 11th, stand 312. And that is from 11 to 2 p.m. From 11 to 2 p.m. So exciting stuff, my amigos. All right, let's see. Now, I know not all of you have gotten the book yet, but we can start going through. Let's choose 3 questions because I'll show you how if you're watching right now, it's basically, it looks like a piece of paper from a notebook from school. And then you've got all these different options. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you one from, I'm going to give you one just from one chapter. So I'm going to give you 3 examples. If you see, they're broken down. A ver, ¿qué te estoy intentando explicar? They're broken down. You'll get 3 different challenges that we want you to remember from each chapter. Okay? So let's see. I'm going to choose this one here. Okay. This is from chapter 2. If you have the book, take a look at chapter 2. Chapter 2 is called Hollywood Estudio. We did it as a joke because obviously Hollywood Studio no lleva E delante, pero estudio, I study. Inglés con películas. Chapter 1 is called London Calling. Inglés en tu móvil. Chapter 3, as you just heard in the ad, Hogwarts English School. For you Harry Potter. Primero no se dice Potter, it's Potter. Harry Potter. Then we've got Super English, which is superheroes. Oh, and by the way, a shout out to all the families that came. So many kids there. And the kids love the book because there are drawings. So if it's attractive for kids, it's attractive for adults too. Then we've got Se te ve el cartoon, Inglés con dibujos animados, which is chapter 5. Chapter 6, Instagrammer. Aplícate con el inglés. Oh, believe me, we gave these titles a lot of thought. Lo hemos pensado bastante. The 7th one, Breaking News. Lo último, right? El inglés que sabes de las noticias. 8, Sé un monstruo del inglés, where we look at monsters. We look at, stuff like Halloween stuff, the Addams Family, all that jazz. Then you've got chapter 9, English Station, which is juegos y videojuegos. Then you've got 10, serious about series. Vamos en serio con las series. 11, Christmas time. Hey, you can always look at it in December, or if, you're one of those people who starts counting down in August. Only 437 days until Christmas. Then you've got 12, chapter 12, Disney Plus, to infinity and beyond. Then you've got Gourmet English. It's a chapter on food. And then you've got chapter 14, which is Fashion English, dress it up, right? Dress it up. So these are just to make sure. What I did in Damian here with the final exam is we chose like 3 things that we think you should know from each chapter, like the 3 coolest or most useful things from each chapter. All right? So we kind of handpicked or cherry-picked, as you say. And don't forget, along with these 14 chapters, every 3 chapters, you have a break. And that's where we look at different fun things. There are games in some of them where you have to match the Spanish series with its name. So without tits, there's no paradise. There's no heaven. Sin tetas no hay paraíso, right? What's another one? Paco's Men, right? Nobody could live here. Aquí no hay quien viva, right? So fun little things to help you learn to translate, like we're always doing as a bilingual person. I'm always saying, ¿y cómo sería literalmente? It's a natural thing that we do. All right, folks, so here's your pop quiz. If you have the book, like many of you do already, then you should do just fine. So, and remember to give us full sentences, please. So, this is from chapter 2, Hollywood Estudio, Inglés con películas. Translate this. You can put these all in if you could, just to save on comments here, put them all in the same comment. So 1, 2, 3. 1, translate this. Indiana Jones lleva látigo. Number 2, use the word pestañas in a sentence. Aquí se pone pestañas en inglés es, pero yo quiero contexto, okay? So then part number 2 here, use the word pestañas in English in a sentence. And the third one is translate this. Estoy sin blanca. Okay, no tengo nada de dinero. All right, amigos, that's from my latest book. This book is the shit. It's available everywhere. You can get it at Vaughn, Tienda, Amazon, or wherever fine books are sold. Let's go on over to our virtual chat room. Good morning, amigos. Hello, hello. Great to read all your names this morning. Let's see. David says, good morning. Good morning to you, David. Great to have you on board. Ready to rock. There's my dad. Early bird. The early bird gets the worm. El que madruga, Dios le ayuda. He says, good morning, Alberto, friends and family. Greetings from Greenwood Lake, New York. What's up, Dad? Vero, morning, beautiful show with no namers all around the universe. There's Vero bringing her usual magic and spreading the love, difundiendo ese cariño. Born to Iron Man, there he is. Good morning, friends. Good morning, born to Iron Man. Kubla, good morning, telluric creatures. You want me to be honest with you? You're teaching me words. I've never heard that word before. All right, we got to go easy. We got to ease into it. Ease into it. Remember, we want to use English that we would really use, right? Not, we don't want to sound like we're in front of La RAE, right? We want to sound natural. And I don't even know what that word means. You don't have to tell me. I've never heard it. I haven't seen it. And I'm an avid reader. But hey, I like that you're trying to use these big words. Just remember, if you use words that are way too big, even native speakers aren't going to understand you. And I know, I don't want to brag, decir, oh, mírame. But I know a lot of vocabulary. I'm an avid reader. I'm a writer. But, you know, most English speakers, they don't have, okay, they speak the language perfectly. They understand everything, but they use about 150 words, period. Punto, you know. So, all right, there's Laura. She says, good morning, precious show with no namers. There she is with her magic as well. What's up, Laura? I know you're coming to the book fair. I hope you're coming to the book fair because I remember I saw you at the book fair last year, was it? Well, this year we've got an extra reason to come. As you guys know, it's This Book is the Shit. Kubla again says, we didn't expect any less from a couple of full-fledged authors. Oh, yeah. Let's see. We're going to take a look over here. Kubla says, would you stick to your pronunciation of Potter before the English Parliament? Yes, definitely. I wouldn't say Potter. Like, it's not it's Potter. So it's not, yes, definitely. Yeah, of course. I would not say it like a lot of my students say it. Harry Potter. No way. If that's what you mean. I would say it the way an American would say it. Harry Potter. Now, they would say Harry Potter, as I've said many times here on the show. The British say the T. We say it like a D. 30. I'm going to escupido en el micro. 30. All right, let's see. We've got Laura participating here in our pop quiz coming straight out of This Book is the Shit. Let's see. Laura's the shit, by the way. You are the shit, Laura, because I didn't even read it yet, but I have a feeling. I got a feeling. I have a feeling it's going to be A-okay. It's going to be okay. She says, Indiana Jones carries a whip. Great. Perfect. Indiana Jones lleva látigo. A whip. Great. Number 2. She has very long eyelashes. Excellent job, Laura. That's 2 For 2, she has very long eyelashes. And the last one, I'm broke. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Laura. I'm broke. Or as we say, I'm broke as a joke. I'm broke as a joke. Bueno, we like to rhyme stuff as well. Let's see some other students participating. There's Chris Valrol. I know she's coming to the book fair too. And I can't wait to see you, Chris. Even though I saw you at the trivia, it'll be great to catch up once again. She says, IJ, Indiana Jones, carries a whip. She has very long eyelashes. I'm penniless or broke. By the way, morning, amazing people. There's Chris. Going the extra mile. Haciendo más de lo que se espera de ella. Chris, going the extra mile as always. Excellent job, Chris. Let's see, Kubla. Kubla says, Indiana Jones carries a whip. Great job. Frankenstein's girlfriend doesn't have very long eyelashes. Great. And I'm broke. Nice job, Kubla. All right, who else? We've got Laura. Laura says, yes, I'm planning to pay you a visit at the book fair. I can't wait to have your new book. Yeah, guys, you don't know how cool it is to be able to chat with all of you at the book fair, even if it's just for a few minutes. But really, I know it was a couple days ago now, but I'm still buzzing. You know, I am still on cloud 9. To be buzzing is como, you know, vibrando. I'm on cloud 9 because it's really cool to be able to talk to you guys. I mean, many of you are here chatting with us live. Many of you who came to visit you're not here live, but you're always with us. So a nice shout out to the non-live crew. You know, hey, we're always shouting out the live crew, you know, our regulars, our show with no namers, but you're all show with no namers. Whether you listen on the Vaughn Radio app, whether you listen via podcast, you all have, I was going to say one thing in common. You all have two things in common. Your show with no namers, officially, in my book, en cuanto a mí, it's a very native way to say it. You're all show with no namers, and you are all curious cats. What? Gatos? Curiosos? What? Pero ¿por qué no estás llamando gatos? Well, gatos would be, I think, the equivalent of pájaros in Spanish. He quedado con estos pájaros. I've heard a lot of people say pájaros. So, I don't know. What would be an equivalent of como decir, estos de aquí, los de siempre, los amigos, los pájaros, cool cats. It's a word that reminds me of jazz, because in the jazz day, they used to be like, he's a cool cat. But that's one word that has not gone out of style. You know, some words come and go, but the word cool, that's like been around, and it's been cool for a long time. And do you know the opposite of cool? I love this one. Cuando algo no mola. No, muy mal, tío. You know what we say? Uncool. O sea, es UN más la palabra, el adjetivo, cool. Man, that was uncool. That was uncool. Don't you wish Spanish was that easy? Oh, and by the way, we gave out some English classes over at the book fair. So if you're going to be coming to the book fair, get ready, because Damian and I could throw a challenge your way at any moment. And speaking of challenges, we've got to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with many more challenges, amigos. We've got so much to do in the second, third, and fourth part of the show. I'm excited to have you with us. I see you guys are psyched, mentalizados. So we're going to have a blast. Coming up, we've got our Say What soundbite. Going to be a tough one today. Today is OTSS. Alberto, what does OTSS stand for? Only the strong survive. So, good luck. But I'll tell you what, let's take this quick break and we'll be right back with the rest of today's show. So if I were you guys, you know what I'm going to say. I wouldn't even think. Mira, ahí practicas el condicional, negación. I wouldn't even, ni siquiera, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Phrasal verb, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name. On radio, radio. Just a quick reminder, after today's show, you've got the one and only Ximena Holiday. And you can catch her at Feria del Libro Saturday, June 3rd at 5 p.m. Also Sunday, June 11th at 5 p.m. as well. It's stand 312. And Ximena will be there signing Expresiones en Inglés and many other materials. Don't miss Ximena at Feria del Libro Saturday, June 3rd and Sunday, June 11th. Both at 5 p.m. Oh, yeah. Oh, and Tosh Pasqua. She's going to be there. We'll be there together the last day, June 11th. She'll be there from 12 to 2. We'll be there from 11 to 2. So come around 12. June 11th, Feria del Libro. And don't forget to listen to Tosh Pasqua's show, Back to Basics. A wonderful show where all levels can learn and review. And don't forget, our latest episode of FYI is also with Tosh Pasqua. It's an episode on parenting. So that is great stuff, my amigos. If you haven't heard it, give it a listen. But right now, it's time for Say What? Say what? What? Yeah. It's the Say What soundbite. It's the Say What soundbite. It's the Say What soundbite. And it's gonna be tough. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. Yeah, I know you never get enough. It's the Say What soundbite. All right. All right, amigos. Let's give it a listen here. We're going to hear this 4 times, as you know. The first time is just to get the gist of it. The second time, you better write some stuff down. And by the 4th listen, I want to know word for word what this person is saying. I want to see if you can catch what this person is saying. And initially, first, I just want you to tell me in your own words what you heard. But remember, in your own eloquent English words. All right, amigos. I'm going to apologize in advance for today's. But listen, I didn't teach this guy how to speak. And who says he doesn't speak well? I personally had difficulty understanding him. So I guess there's a clue right there. He's not from my area. All right, folks, I'm not going to say any more because me and my big mouth. Here is your first listen of today's Say What soundbite.
Yeah, excited. It's a bit surreal, really, seeing all the faces in the dressing room and having pre-match earlier with so many star names and obviously ex-teammates and current teammates. It's a great occasion.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think? Oh, damn. Hey, I told you it was going to be really tough. What I didn't tell you that it was going to blow your mind. Well, all right, but some people speak like that. A whole city. Oh, shut up. Alberto, shut up. Shut your big mouth for 1 second. Damn it. I'm going to give it away. Te lo voy a soplar aquí sin querer. All right. Everybody ready? Everybody got that? Okay, this is the second listen of today's Say What soundbite. And what we're going to do is discuss it afterwards. I'd love to hear what you heard.
Yeah, excited. It's a bit surreal, really, seeing all the faces in the dressing room and having pre-match earlier with so many star names and obviously ex-teammates and current teammates. It's a great occasion.
All right, there we go, amigos. Oh, no. Hey, what do you want me to do? There's nothing I can do, folks. That's how some people talk. And, well, I think the more we get used to it here on the show, the easier it'll be when we're out there in certain parts of the world. Well, any parts of the English-speaking world, my amigos. All right, so let's take a look over here. We'll see. Let's get a little beat going. You know me. I like a little beat. Why not? Let's see. Where's this person from? What continent is the person from? Is the person from the Americas? Europe? Let's start there. Maybe from Australia? I don't know. Eurasia? Maybe the person's Scottish. I don't know. Well, I do know. I definitely know. And I'll give you another clue without, telling you too much. This is a tough accent for me to understand as well. So, I guess that means it's very foreign, very different sounding than the way I speak. Okay? They use different sounds. Their tongues move a different way. You can hear it. All right, let's see. Let's see what we've got over here. We got Maria Jose in the house. What's up, Maria Jose? She says, I heard a British man giving an opinion about something that is exciting, silly, and mentioning something, all the faces. Mentioning something about all the faces. So nos falta el about there. Nice. So British. All right. But what you mean? Great Britain is very big. Or do you mean from England? And then, okay, well, I'll tell you this, Maria Jose, you are on the right track. Let's see. Anybody else hear anything? All right. I'll give you another give you another minute or so. And then we've got to move on. You guys know time is of the essence. Aquí el tiempo cuenta. Because before you know it, I'm like, guys, we've got 2 minutes to do Name That Lyric, right? You know that. So I don't want to rush you. Nos quiero meter prisa. But also, get your ideas together and send them to me as soon as you possibly can, just so we can not spend too much extra time here than necessary. There's Laura. Laura says, I heard a young man who might be Scottish saying how excited he is to be sharing the dressing room with so many star names, even if it seems silly. Laura, let's go through your sentence here. I heard a young man. Yeah, pretty young. Yep. Scottish. No, but I can see why you say that. But no. But you're on the right track. You're in the area. And he's saying how excited he is to be sharing a dressing room, cambiador o vestuario, where players get dressed, right? Or a locker room with so many star names, even if it seems silly. Well, Laura, I'll tell you something, because Maria Jose heard the word silly too. It's not silly. He didn't say silly. So there we go. We can identify something here with our comments, with Maria Jose and Laura's comments, that there's a really tricky word in there that everybody, well, the ladies are hearing right now as silly, but it's not silly. And you want to know something? Maria Jose and Laura, those are the same. That's the same word I had to listen to a couple times, honestly. So, Maria Jose says, in my opinion, his accent comes from the north of England. All right. Good. We're narrowing it down. No, descartando opciones. Narrowing it down to a couple different accents. Anybody else have something to say about what we just heard? I don't want to rush you, as I said, but also we've got a lot to do, my amigos. So why don't we kick off another section, one of the toughest, most challenging sections, our spelling bee.
Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee. Spelling bee.
All right, amigos. All right. Well, before we start our tough spelling bee today, we've got Chris. She wants to participate as well in our spelling bee. So if anybody else would like to participate, last chance. Chris says, I'd say this guy is British, Irish, or Scottish. Oh, my God. You could just say from Great Britain. I don't really know. The only thing I understood clearly is all faces. Algo de muchas caras. In other words, I didn't get the gist of it. Well, the good news, Chris, and the rest of you, you're going to hear this again in just a little bit. You'll have 2 more chances to jot down what you hear. But this is today's spelling bee, and this is round 1. I'm going to spell these words really fast, and I want you guys to jot them down. The second time, I'm going to do it fast, but clear, but not too fast. Okay? Are you ready? But the first time, even native speakers, if they're not paying attention, they won't get it. So if you get it on the first go, great. But remember this, if you get it on the first go, you better get it on the first go. I don't want to find 3 or 4 mistakes in there, because then that's not getting it on the first go. All right, here we go, my amigos. This is round 1 of your spelling bee. These are proper nouns, so they should be capitalized. Ready? The first one is Nevada space TEST space SITE. The second one is TRINITY space SITE. The third one is NOVAYA space ZEMLYA space ISLAND. The fourth one is CHANGELY GAI space HILLS, comma, space BALUCHISTAN. The fifth one, ENIWETOK space ATOLL. And the sixth one, HIROSHIMA. Whoa, that one was definitely mind-blowing, to say the least. Oh, and that was a clue, too. That explosion there was a clue for you. All right, so going once, going twice. Let's see. I'll give you guys a second or two to see if anybody got these. I went really fast, so if you got these, really remarkable. I'll give you a minute or so. Okay. Well, in the meantime, let me tell you about Vaughan and Oxford English. ¿Qué tiene que ver la Universidad de Oxford con Vaughan? Pues muchísimo. Es una alegría anunciar que Vaughan ha sido certificado como centro examinador de Oxford Test of English. Podrás hacer los exámenes de Oxford Test of English en los centros de Vaughan. Si quieres más información sobre esta iniciativa de Vaughan y Oxford, puedes ver más en nuestra página web, grupovaughan.com. O bien síguenos en redes sociales para más información. Oxford Test of English con Vaughan. That's right, folks. That's right. It is the Oxford Test of English with Vaughan. You can find out more about that. Speaking of Tosh Pasqua, nobody knows more about it than her, because Tosh Pasqua, the host of Back to Basics, is running the show. She's running shit. ¿Qué? Acuérdate, shit muchas veces no es caca. She's running shit. Lleva la voz cantante. In this program, in the Disney stuff, Tosh is running shit. Again, you can hear her on the latest episode of FYI, where we look at parenting in English. And oh, just a heads up, un aviso. It's not just for parents. It's a way to learn using creativity, some tips, some do's and don'ts. No, pautas, we say do's and don'ts. So check it out. Wonderful episode, Tosh. As expected, she knocked it out of the park. And again, you can check her out at the book fair as well. You can check her out every day on Vaughan Radio and her program, Back to Basics. All right, now let's get back to today's spelling bee. It looks like I've got some people participating here. The first one is Kubla. Let's take a look. Kubla, the first one is correct. The second one is also correct. The third one is also correct. The fourth one is correct. The fifth one is incorrect. So, Kubla, nice effort, excellent, but I can't hire you, buddy. This is if we're dealing with nuclear weapons here, you know, nos van a cortar el stream ahora por mencionar eso, ¿no? Sorry. I mean, this is an English class. We're using examples. So I can't hire you, buddy. I think you're fast. And if I need somebody to, to make me a burger or to, get me, deliver me a package quickly, I can count on you. But I don't know if we're dealing with nuclear explosive stuff. Good effort. Excellent effort. Just one mistake. But if we're dealing with nuclear, nuclear stuff over here, nuclear fallout, as we looked at that word the other day, well, then we're screwed, buddy. Burt Lancaster. Let's see. Born to Iron Man is the next one, and he's taking a stab at it. The first one is correct, buddy. The second one is correct. The third one is also correct. The fourth one is incorrect. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Guys, we are dealing with nuclear test sites today. There is no room, there is no margin for error today. All right, so we're going to go with round 2, and hopefully I'll be able to hire somebody to clean up this nuclear waste. I didn't tell you what the job entailed. It wasn't working on the reactor. It was cleaning up after the the fallout, para usar una palabra que está en el libro, de hecho. All right, this is round 2. The first one is NEVADA space TEST space SITE. The second one is TRINITY space SITE. The third one is NOVAYA space ZEMLYA space ISLAND. The fourth one is CHAGAI space HILLS, comma, space, por si acaso, BALUCHISTAN. The fifth one is ENIWETOK space ATOLL. And the last one is HIROSHIMA. All right, folks. And as we said, these are nuclear test sites. By the way, there's an FYI episode on Area 51. This top secret sector has been sealed off from the rest of the world since its inception. According to Uncle Sam, there was no such thing as Area 51 until 2013. We'll meddle in this mysterious enigma in the middle of the nuclear Nevada desert. We have an all-access pass to the absolutely alluring Area 51 on this week's episode of FYI. Welcome to For Your Info.
Inglés.
You got it. All right, amigos. That's right. Area 51. If you want to find out more about this top secret area, you can listen to the FYI episodes. There are 2. And in fact, this weekend, I just released, you guys know I played the JFK one yesterday. Well, I also released the bonus episode. So you've got a lot of content on Vaughn Radio. Also, if you're following our podcast, also on FYI, my self-produced podcast For Your English. And I can't tell you what we're going to look at this week. You'll just have to wait. Now, some of you know it already, because you're in my community, but the rest, you'll have to wait. All right, let's take a look and see if anybody got our spelling bee. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, there's Chris Valrol. Remember, I haven't hired anybody yet for the position because I'm looking for accuracy overall. Okay, so Chris, the first one is correct. The second one is correct. The third one is nuclear meltdown. Nuclear meltdown. We are having a nuclear meltdown. Please evacuate. Evacuate the building at once. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man. He's like, you know what? I'm coming back for another interview. All right, well, I'll tell you what, Born to Iron Man, since you already took a shot at it, I've got to interview Laura first for the position, as you know, because this is Laura's first interview. So if we don't hire Laura for the position, I will definitely take a look at your credentials again. All right, Laura, Let's cross our fingers. This is a tough one today, man. It is, I'm telling you, it's like nuclear fission. It's like doing astrophysics here. All right. Well, the expression is, it's not rocket science. Cuando alguien dice, ¿cómo hago esto? You're like, come on, man. It's not rocket science. No es ciencia de cohetes. Aquí es fácil, que no es tan complicado. It's a great idiomatic expression. All right, Laura, the first one is correct. Laura, the second one is correct. The third one is also correct. The fourth one is correct. The fifth one is correct. And ladies and gentlemen, the sixth one is also correct. Laura, you are hired. Contratada. You are hired, Laura. Great to have you on board working at our nuclear test site. What could possibly go wrong? Well, when I said that I wanted This Book Is the Shit to blow up, I didn't mean explotar. I meant to be really big, to get really popular. And speaking of, if you haven't picked up the book, now's a good time. Go over to vontienda.com and you can have it in no time. En un santiamén, you say. En un plis plas. In no time. Free delivery at vontienda.com. Be one of the first people to have it. All right, guys, we'll be right back with the second half of today's show. So stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the second half of today's show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Come on in. So much to do here on your interactive, exciting English class, free English class on Vaughn Radio. You got Ximena Holiday after our show with Test Your English. After that, Rob and Andy and their banter, su chachara, su palique, their banter. It's called the Lunchtime Show. Don't miss this totally native conversation between two best buds, Rob and Andy. Oh, and how could I forget? Rob and Andy will be hosting our next trivia night. I'll be there. I plan to be there. It's June 7th. Mark your calendars. June 7th at 8:30 p.m. Roll Madrid. It's Calle Amaniel 23. And Rob and Andy will be hosting an amazing trivia night. I hope you can make it. I'll be there. Kyle, Richard, June 7th. So with that and the book fair dates, you've got a lot to do. I'm not just your English teacher, I'm also your social planner. Well, after Rob and Andy, you've got Tosh Pasqua and Back to Basics. After that, you've got Jules Linares and Let's Get Random. Then Western Civilization with Guy, The Salad with Dave, and Drive Time with Mr. Kyle Miller. So many amazing programs here on Vaughn Radio, and they're all here to do one thing: get you hooked on the learning process so that you'll come back and you'll want to keep learning every day. You won't be one of those people who says, can I learn English in 2 weeks? Can I be fluent in 6 months? It doesn't work like that. And you'll see a lot of that. A lot of people, a lot of academies on Instagram announce that. They're like, 15 days to fluency. And you know what I say? I say, wrong. That's not the way it works, folks. All right, well, let's kick off with today's homophones.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. 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 Show with no name. Show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's homophones or not. We'll find out in just a moment if these words sound the same or not. But first, we got to see if you know the words. The first word is to make something so cold that it turns to a block of ice. Okay? So you've got a refrigerator in your house, a refrigerator, and you've also got what else? You got the part on top where you congelar. So the verb is congelar. Okay? Congelar. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with the word. There's even a bad guy in the Batman series that has this guy's name. Okay? And it's also when a police officer or an authority figure wants to stop you, they say, alto. I think you say alto. No, para. In English, it's congélate. What we say there is congélate. No te muevas. Okay, so I think that's the same as alto, right? It's in movies all the time. They pull out a gun and they go, huh! I'm not going to say the word because then I'm going to give it away. So that's word number one, congelar in Spanish. And the second one is tightly curled hair. Okay, here it says pelo encrespado, pelo crespo, pelo rizado. So it happens when it's humid outside. Okay, anybody who's got long hair knows that when it gets humid or muggy outside, well, then your hair starts to curl a little bit and it looks different. Something changes. It says here, encresparse, rizarse. Okay, that is the verb. So the first one, congelarse. The second one, encresparse, rizarse. Again, just think of what happens when it's humid out. We all know, we've all gone to a humid, I live in Madrid, it's dry as hell. So I notice it when we're in Asia or we go even to the south of Spain, my wife's hair changes because it's long. You don't see it as much in short hair, but in long hair, you can see it pretty well. You're like, whoa, what happened? Your hair's curlier or something's different, right? So I didn't know that word. Encresparse is the verb. That's the second one. And the first one is congelarse. All right, we'll take a look at that in just a moment. And then, of course, well, we've got a lot of stuff to do. But let me give you the Say What soundbite, which we've got our work cut out for us. Tenemos mucho trabajo por delante con esto, pero I think it's doable. And if not, again, we'll find out who it is, where the person's from, and then we'll find out what they're really saying. But I have faith in you guys because I gotta have faith. All right, here we go, folks. This is the third lesson of today's Say What soundbite.
Yeah, excited. It's a bit surreal, really, seeing all the faces in the dressing room and having pre-match earlier with so many star names and obviously ex-teammates and current teammates. It's a great occasion.
All right, there you go, amigos. There's your Say What soundbite for the third time. All right, let's see what we've got in our homophones. I've given you some time to think it over. The two words were congelarse and encresparse, okay? Rizarse. All right, let's see. Kubla, the second one is an adjective. I'm looking for the verb. Let's see. Laura, the second one, again, is an adjective. I'm looking for the verb, right? Entonces, the noun or the verb? So I said, pelo encrespado, tienes el pelo encrespado, right? The noun or the verb? That's the adjective. So, añadiendo una Y, vemos el adjetivo. Let's see if anybody got the one I'm looking for here. Leo, there's Leo. All right, Leo, those are the two words. So far, so good. Because I can't judge Kubla and Laura's. It's not the word I'm looking for. So I can tell you they're not homophones, but they're not because they're not the words I'm looking for. So I've got to judge it. The first things first, you got to get the two words before, or else we're talking about two different things. So Leo, those are the words. And Leo says they're homophones. All right. Does anybody care to agree or disagree? Oh, there's Maria Jose. Maria Jose, I'm going to tell you something. Today and lately, guys, a nice round of applause for Maria Jose. Whether it's right or wrong, me da igual si es correcto o no. I'm talking about, I've seen how much you've improved and how much you've been participating. And I can say right now, I'm totally proud of you as your teacher. And you know what? I guarantee that your classmates would agree with me. So Maria Jose, excellent job. All right. All of you, but sometimes I like to just pick out one and say, hey, I noticed, me estoy dando cuenta del esfuerzo que haces, right? So let's see. Maria Jose says the words are and they aren't homophones. Okay, so you disagree with Leo. Let's see. Kubla says, I disagree. Kubla, with who? You got to give me context, guy. I'll say it again if you want. I can repeat myself. I'm good at it. I have a daughter who's 3 years old. I've learned the patience thing. I disagree with tal y entonces me queda clarísimo. All right, then I don't have to ask or guess what you're thinking. Okay, Laura says it's and they're not homophones, I think. All right, Laura's like, I'm going to try again now that I know what you mean. All right, Chris says, I have to mi pelo because it's going to and they are homophones. So I've got to say something here. Leo, Maria Jose, Laura, Chris, you got the right words. The thing is, you don't agree whether they're homophones or not. All right, well, here's what we're going to do. We're just going to say the words. The first word, freeze. Freeze. Is that alto? Is that how you say that? Freeze means no te muevas, congélate ahí mismo, right? Freeze. Okay, but I'm going to say it now so you can hear it better. Don't forget to freeze the chicken. Well, I'll use an example. Remember I said use real life? Last night I made bolognese sauce and I had to freeze some of it. In fact, I do that on purpose. I freeze it in individual portions. So then I take it out. I just have to boil some spaghetti and we've got a delicious bolognese. So I freeze things. Instead of just making it for one day, I'll make a big pot of bolognese or whatever. Some things freeze better than others. So the word is freeze, freeze. I know many of you have heard it. Dr. Freeze, also played by Arnold Schwarzenegger in the earlier Batman movies. And it was probably the worst character ever. Definitely, without a doubt. So freeze, congelar, solidificar, okay? And a lot of times we say it like we say, oh man, you're going to freeze to death. O sea, la expresión es, I'm freezing to death, which means a la muerte. It's exaggeration, obviously. It's an irregular verb, so it's freeze, froze, frozen. So how do you say algo congelado? It's frozen, not freezed. It's frozen. So I have to freeze some things. I froze some things yesterday. I've got a lot of frozen things that I need to defrost. ¿Ves? Vamos un paso más allá y decimos, pues, ¿qué más podemos relacionar con esto? And also, a lot of times they talk about, oh, they put a freeze on your account. No, han congelado tu cuenta for suspicious activity. Sometimes the bank will do it as well. All right. So the first word, say it with me, please. Freeze. La E es cortita, las E's y suenan como I latina. Freeze. Y es una Z, no una S. Bueno, es una Z, como lo ves. Freeze. Z, z, freeze. The second word, frizz. What happens to your hair when it's humid, when it's muggy? It starts to frizz, right? But that doesn't happen when it starts to freeze. Do they sound the same? No, they don't. So, our winner over here, ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable. It's Maria Jose. Maria Jose, she says the words are freeze and frizz, and they aren't homophones. So excellent job. So what we need to do, obviously, here is pronounce the words. Okay, first one, freeze. Say it with me, freeze. Froze, frozen. And the second one, frizz. Your hair is starting to frizz. It's el adjetivo que vimos antes, frizzy, si añadimos una Y. So excellent job. Wonderful job. This was tough. Today's show has been quite challenging, I would say. Quite challenging, to say the least. But you guys are rising to the challenge. So excellent job to all of you. Let's also, before we move on to name that movie, let's take a look at our words from our spelling bee. These were all words that were, what are they called? Nuclear test sites. And we looked at a few different ones. The first one we looked at was the Nevada test site. And that was established in 1950. And there have been over 900 atmospheric, that means in the atmosphere, obviously, and underground nuclear tests at this site, okay? Not far from Area 51. So again, if you want to learn a little bit about this controversial area, this secretive area, give it a listen. Then we've got Trinity site. Trinity, that comes from the Bible, Trinidad, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. It's Holy Spirit or Holy Ghost, se puede decir. And that is the Trinity site in New Mexico, is very famous because that was the site of the first nuclear weapon test. And that was on July 16th, 1945. Then we had Novaya Zemlya Island. Okay. And this was a Soviet atmospheric and underground testing site. It was where the largest thermonuclear device was ever tested, a 58 megaton bomb, and that was October 23rd, 1961. Then we had Chagai Hills, Baluchistan, which is in Pakistan. And that was the site of the first Pakistani nuclear detonations, which were a lot later in history. That was, in the States, it was the 50s and 60s where they started experimenting with this. And in Pakistan, 1998. So it took them a little bit longer to go nuclear. And then we've got the Eniwetok Atoll, which is, atoll is another way of saying islands, the islands in the Pacific, those little ones. In fact, the word bikini comes from one of those islands, Bikini Atoll, which, if you haven't heard it, there's an episode of FYI on bikinis. Absolutely. They're important. And this was a place it is a place in the Marshall Islands. And the Marshall Islands are very controversial as well because, the islanders were like, we don't really like you guys testing nuclear bombs in our backyard. I get it. I got to say, I get it. So that was the Eniwetok, also Bikini Atoll. That was another one where they were doing nuclear tests. And if you remember the episode on bikinis, why did they call it a bikini? Because that was a popular word, because they were talking about the world's gone nuclear, blah, blah, blah. So bikini goes, well, that sounds cool. Bikini, it's in the news. And so the bikini was named after this island where they were doing nuclear tests. And that is definitely an explosive fun fact. And the last one is Hiroshima. Unfortunately, this one, there were people, again, I'm not going to talk about whether it's just I don't like violence. I'm a hippie. I got to be honest. I'm an old school hippie. Okay. And I was in Hiroshima. You can still feel the aftermath, las secuelas de la bomba. I'm telling you. You know how energy just stays in a place and you can see it on people's faces? You can feel it in the air. It's still there. Okay. I'm not talking about the radioactive part. I'm talking about the psychological aftermath of this stuff. So, folks, there you go. There's our spelling bee. Now it's time for Name That Movie. Name That Movie. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie only on the show with no name. This is not my favorite movie, but it's one of my favorite stories. Okay? The movie was okay, but I preferred the play. I'd rather see the play 1,000,000 times over. All right? So what am I telling you? This is a play and a movie. Okay? Es una película y una obra de teatro. So could it be Cats? I wouldn't look at Cats. In fact, Cats, the movie version, was panned by critics. Lo pusieron a parir. This one wasn't. I think it got normal reviews, nothing too crazy. But this story, it just reminds me of NYC, baby. So here's your synopsis. This is the film version of the Pulitzer and Tony Award-winning musical about bohemians in the East Village of New York City, struggling with life, love, and AIDS, and the impacts they have on America. All right? Sound familiar? It's a film version of the Pulitzer and Tony Award-winning musical about bohemians, gente bohemia, artistas, in the East Village of New York City, struggling, luchando contra life, love, and AIDS, SIDA, and the impacts they have on America. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. Please give it up for Kubla. It is Rent. Rent. I love this musical. I saw the original cast, el reparto original, and man, it's awesome. The good thing is a lot of the people from the original cast reprised their role. O sea, hicieron de nuevo su papel, lo interpretaron de nuevo. Those being Tay Diggs, Wilson, Jermaine, Herida, that's a weird name. Idina Menzel. Do you know Idina Menzel? Let it go, let it go. Idina Menzel, her, yeah. Adam Pascal, Anthony Rapp, just an awesome cast. And these people came back to play their original roles. Not the whole cast, but a big part of the cast. And anybody who knows me, you'll know this is one of my favorite musicals ever, if not my favorite. Okay, it's between this and Hamilton. Okay, and those are two groundbreaking musicals. And this one, an interesting thing about this one is the author, the writer, the composer, Jonathan Larson, never got to see the success of his show. At the very end of the credits of the movie, they say, "Thank you, Jonathan Larson." And it says, "We couldn't have done this without you," right? Because they wouldn't have the roles or anything like that. And he believed in them. He knew all the original cast. He was involved in the casting process. And he died. Jonathan Larson died the night before it began previews off Broadway. So he never got to see it go to Broadway. And, well, it's just a beautiful story about a guy who, tells a story and never gets to see it told really to the whole world. So it's called Rent. And anybody who's ever lived in a big city like New York City will know that that's one of the biggest things that's always on your mind. Oh no, rent. And one of the title songs is, "How we gonna pay last year's rent?" How are we going to pay last year's rent? ¿Cómo vamos a pagar el alquiler del año pasado? All right, amigos, let's take a look at the scene here. Excuse me, let me just take a sip of water 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so Mark, he sings it, but I think I'm going to say it just so you can understand it well. And anybody who lives in New York City will kind of be familiar with these references here. He says, "To days of inspiration, días de la inspiración, playing hooky." To play hooky is hacer pellas, you say, when you pretend you're sick to not go to school. Playing hooky or work. Making something out of nothing, haciendo algo de nada. The need to express, to communicate, to going against the grain, no siguiendo la corriente, going against the grain, going insane, volviéndote loco, going mad, lo mismo. To loving tension, amando la tensión, que amas la tensión. To no pension, como ves rima, como es una canción, que no te llega ninguna pensión. To no pension, to more than one dimension, ¿no? Para que haya más de una dimensión. To starving for attention. Starving for attention is somebody who's like, look at me, look at me, look at me. Right? Starving for attention. Hating convention, odiando las cosas convencionales. Hating pretension, gente que es pretenciosa. Not to mention, y no mencionamos, of course, hating dear old mom and dad. It's about rebellion, really. To riding your bike midday, ¿no? A mediodía, past the three-piece suits. O sea, los que van en traje. That's New York City. To fruits, fruterías, ¿no? Donde hay frutas por toda la calle. To no absolutes, donde nada es absoluto. To absolute, la vodka. To choice, a la elección. To the Village Voice. The Village Voice is a free newspaper in New York City. To any passing fad. And a fad es una tendencia. To being in us for once. Por ser un nosotros de una vez por todas. Instead of a them, La Vie Bohème, and it's loosely based on Puccini's La Bohème. Excellent. If you haven't seen the musical, you'll have to, no, it's not in New York. You can't see it in New York anymore, but you can always check out the movie. It's called Rent, and the musical opened in 1994, and finally they made the movie in the year 2005. All right, folks, I can't believe it, but we've got to go to our final commercial break. We'll be right back with the rest of today's show, so stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. I can't believe we are in the fourth and final part of today's show. So much to cover. We're going to start out with our double trouble. Then we've got to listen to our Say What soundbite again. Jokes, famous birthdays, name that lyric, and so much more. It's the show with no name, your interactive, wacky English show. All right, amigos, come on in. Come on in. Show with no name time here on the Vaughn Radio English channel. We've got a YouTube page if you haven't seen it. We're on Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you follow Grupo Vaughn and also follow Tosh, Kyle, Dave Boys. I'm just thinking of the ones that post content on social media. Vaughn Radio, folks. Download our free app, and this way you never miss an episode. Also, you got more information about our courses at grupovaughn.com. Or use the blower, use the horn. El teléfono, 911-385831. 911-385831. Or our website, grupovaughn.com. Right now, it's time for Double Trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble. That's right, amigos. That's right. It is our double trouble section. This is a challenge today. I think it's going to be really easy. So I guess this is going to make up for the fact that our Say What soundbite is really tough. And also the spelling bee was relatively tough as well. So this will be as easy as it gets. Let's see. We'll find out in a moment. Tengo que congelar las chuletas. If you don't know congelar after homophones, and not just know the words, but know how to pronounce it. Okay, good. So, ya lo tienes medio hecho. Tengo que congelar las chuletas. Y encima, Me está quedando colgado el portátil. ¿Ok? Me está empezando a quedar colgado el portátil. Me está empezando, ¿ok? O a darme problemas, ¿no? Something we've all had to say at one point or another if you have a help desk en tu trabajo, right? Now, if you're like me and, you got a problem with your computer, you just have to restart it. But we have certain words. So, tengo que congelar las chuletas. Y encima se me está empezando a quedar colgado el portátil. That is your double trouble. You have to use the same word twice. Also, I'm going to give you your tough say what soundbite for the fourth and final time. Here we go, guys. I don't think anybody got it yet. Good luck.
Yeah, excited. It's a bit surreal, really, seeing all the faces in the dressing room and having pre-match earlier with so many star names and obviously ex-teammates and current teammates. It's a great occasion.
All right, amigos, there you go. Hopefully somebody will figure it out. All right. What else? What else do we have to do here? Oh, well, double trouble. Sure. I gave you guys some time to think about it, and we've already got some answers. Let's see. Laura says, I have to freeze the steaks. And on top of it, my cell phone is starting to freeze. All right. Well, Laura, I didn't say cell phone, or maybe I did. I think I said laptop, but all right. I think you know what it is, Laura. I assume you know the difference. So I'm going to give it to you. I imagine either I said it wrong or, but let's just clear it up. Cell phone es móvil en inglés americano, and laptop es portátil. All right. So yes, to freeze. So I have to freeze the chops. Well, she puts steaks. Steaks son igual, steaks or chops. But usually if you think of steaks, you think, unless you say tuna steak de atún, you think of like red meat. But whereas if you say chops, puede ser chuletas de cerdo, so chops, piénsalo, que es como los preparan, si vas. If you go to the butchers, what do? They chop it and then they give it to you. Makes sense, doesn't it? So great. Let's see. Kubla says, I have to freeze the chops. And on top of that, my laptop is frozen. Yeah, but it's not. Well, okay, it's the same word. Okay. Let's see. Maria Jose, I had to freeze the chops. And in addition, my PC is starting to freeze. I'm seeing if anybody got the exact one that I've got over here. Chris, I have to freeze the chops. And on top of that, my laptop is starting to freeze. Well, guys, excellent job. The only thing is, I would say, es correcto, pero yo diría freeze up. O sea, el up, starting to freeze up, right? To freeze up. Very interesting one there. Not that freeze is incorrect, but I naturally would say there, I don't know what's going on. It's been freezing up all morning. So I have to freeze the chops. Y nadie lo puse como, creo que nadie puso mi expresión aquí. Y encima, in addition, and on top of that, nadie puso, and to top it all off, esta es buenísima. Apúntala. Okay, I chose it on purpose. So, tengo que congelar las chuletas y encima me está quedando colgado el portátil. I have to freeze the chops, and to top it all off, my laptop is starting to freeze up. Excellent job, amigos. I'm going to reward you with one of my great, fantastic jokes.
Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch! Ouch! You get it? Ouch! He walked into the bar.
You're joking.
That's right, amigos. You're joking only on the show with no name. Oh, and Chris says, look, nowadays there are many people who wonder how they're going to pay their rent. This story is not outdated. Chris, you read my mind. I was just thinking that. And even worse, because in New York City, rent has always been an issue. Well, first, You have to be a millionaire to be a homeowner in New York City. Okay, you might get something for 600,000, 700, but then your taxes. I mean, New York City is not a cheap place to live. Let's put it that way. If you're looking to reduce your budget, your monthly budget, go to the north of Thailand. Don't go to New York City. It's, in fact, a lot of people leave New York City because they say, okay, I want to have a job here, but I can't live here. This is, and quality of life. Well, yeah, if you have a lot of money, if you're wealthy. So rent has always been extremely high in New York. Now, I want to be honest with you guys. I don't know what's happened here, but when I first moved here, it made sense to rent because I could rent. I remember my first room. I rented a room in a house that many people, in an apartment that many people shared. And I remember I paid the woman 200 euros a month, cash, of course. And if she's like, no receipts. I'm like, okay, fine. I don't need one, but all right. I know what you're doing. We say under the table. She's getting paid under the table. Le pagan sin factura, debajo de la mesa, we say, right? Or off the books, que no sale en las cuentas, right? It's off the books. And it was $200 a month. Okay, it was a small little room. Then I moved to Moncloa and I had a bigger place and I shared with 3 British girls. That was 400. And now there's nothing under 1,000, 1,500 in Madrid. So what's happened in Madrid, I don't know about the rest of Spain, but I know in Madrid, it used to make sense to rent because it gave you the option, freedom. Okay, if I move to another city. But now, my wife and I recently bought a house. Oh, not that easy. Lo digo tan fácil. We are homeowners. You say propietarios. We say dueños de casa. Because we were looking at our rent and it was insane. And we're like, when did it get so high? It was just out of control. And I said, well, listen, if we can get a mortgage, okay, we need to put a lot of money down, poner mucho dinero por adelantado, which the good thing is we don't spend a lot of money. So we were able to save. And it's something we've wanted to do for a long time. So I just let the cat out of the bag. Some of my students know it, but my wife and I are officially homeowners. We stopped paying rent. And are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? This one needs a drum roll. Our monthly mortgage payment is lower than our rent. What? Yeah. So, okay. As I said, easier said than done. Well, we bought a house. No, it's a lot of years saving and really like looking and knowing where we wanted to live and what. So, and finally, we got a house. And guess who has a little yard for his barbecue? Little, enano. This is Madrid. You can't have a big yard unless you're rich. No, mucho terreno. But I got my way. Me salí con la mía. I just said, I don't care. Okay, the house, of course, obviously, we want the same things. Because it's just like, when you're going to buy a car or a house or anything big like that, you got to know what you're looking for, what you want, and more importantly, what you don't want. So as of a couple days ago, my wife and I have become homeowners. We are now married. No, well, we've been married to each other for a long time. We're now married to the bank, baby. Nos hemos casado con el banco, as you say in Spanish. So exciting stuff. But yeah, Chris, we were, because of that, because it just kept going, we're like, well, wait a second. We're paying someone else a lot of money every month, where if we can just find a way to, get it to pay it to ourselves or the bank, really, well, maybe, and then in the end, we're not saving money, but our monthly budget is going to go down a little bit. So that's interesting. Now, I don't want to tell you all the conditions, but you have life insurance. Anybody who's gotten a mortgage knows why the word starts with mort, la muerte. Hablando de bodas, until death do us part. That's what my banker said. She said, give me a kiss now. No, I'm joking. Give me a kiss now that we're going to be together for the next 30 years. I'm going to watch your kids grow up. And the best thing is when you're sitting there at the notary and they're like, so you're going to be paying this till 2050. And I'm like, 2000, what? I can't even imagine that year. So finally, after a long time, my wife has been looking constantly on Idealista. There's in Madrid and in the area we wanted to be in. And finally, after, I would say, 8 years of looking, okay, we found the house in March that, it was for us affordable. We got financing, of course, because we couldn't afford to pay for the whole thing. So we did a down payment, lo que hay que hacer. Buen vocabulario para mirar. A down payment es una entrada, dinero que pones por adelantado. So, and we're officially homeowners. So exciting stuff. Thank you, guys. I see a lot of comments. 45 years. You can see how things have changed, right? Our parents were homeowners when they were 20. Now they're like, yeah, right. You're 20. You don't even have $1,000 in the bank when you're 20 these days. So not good. I'm laughing. I don't think that's a good thing. But finally, we're able to, as my uncle always says, pay yourself. If you're going to pay somebody every month, pay yourself, But it's easier said than done. No, más fácil hecho que dicho. Entre el dicho y el hecho hay un trecho. Is that what you guys say? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got Kubla. Let's take a look here. Kubla's taken a stab at our say what soundbite. And Kubla, the first sentence is wrong. Let's see the second. The second one is wrong too. So I'm going to give you an applause for your effort. But if we're going to a courtroom, si vamos a juicio, I can't hire you, man. I can't hire you. But excellent effort. Oh, it's a tough one, dude. Believe me. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at even I had to be like, what? And I was listening with headphones. So great effort, buddy. And we'll take a look at that in just a moment. My dad also says, congratulations, Diana and Alberto. Lara will love it. That's right. Maria Jose says, now you are married to a bank for at least 45 years. Well, the good thing, Maria Jose, 30. But still, I'm 45. I'll be 75, okay? When that's paid. And my dad says, and beyond death. Oh, yeah. How many parents leave their kids debts? Les dejan deudas. They're like, oh, yeah, by the way, you got to finish paying that, and that. Because they couldn't pay it in their lifetime. So it's true. Until death do us part and beyond, right? Okay, where were we? Jokes. But thank you, everybody. I didn't want to say anything because we were in the middle of the process, and it's you got to. Esto es la fecha. Tenemos que llegar para esta fecha. It's a pain in the ass, but once you get it done, you get it done. And my wife and I are extremely happy. Laura's very happy. I was going to say Laura because I read your name. So Lara's extremely happy. And all my friends who like to barbecue are pretty happy too, because they're like, you're going to have your own little area to barbecue? So when do I help you move in? I said, well, listen, if we're moving in, I can't barbecue too. We're either moving in or we're barbecuing. So very exciting stuff. And thank you. Thank you for all the support, guys. And thank you for your congratulations. We're excited. It hasn't been easy. As everybody who knows is, they say nothing that's worth it is easy anyway, right? Learning a language. Okay, it's easy because we're making it easy. We're having fun. But you got to put in the time and the effort. And I think that's with everything. All right, but before I get all serious on you, let's take a look at today's jokes. How do doggy robots... what do doggy robots do? I don't know why I put how. What do doggy robots do? Okay. And it's interesting because you say robot, we say robot.
Caution, approximately 5 seconds remaining till impact.
Oh, no.
5, 4,
Are we having a nuclear
3,
meltdown here?
1.
Oh, jeez.
Warning,
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Missile lock detected.
No. Oh, God. All right. So what do doggy robots do? Easy. They bite. They bite. You get it? Megabytes. Los megabytes decís vosotros. Eso es con Y. Bytes. B-Y-T-E-S. It's a way to count memory on a computer or something like that. I'm no expert. But we all know the word gigabytes, megabytes. So you get it? What do doggy robots do? They bite. Muerden, bites, los trozos de información. I know. That joke was mega corny. Mega bite. Okay, all right. I know. These jokes really bite. No, bite, morder, bite, son lo peor. These suck. These bite. Okay. I know what you're thinking. I guess a lot of you are thinking maybe I bit off more than I could chew with this joke. To bite off more than you can chew. Abarcar más de lo que puedes. Okay. All right. Never mind. Last one. And then we've got to move on. Why did the robot get upset? Because everyone was pushing his buttons. Everybody was pushing his buttons. To push buttons, pulsar botones, pero también es tocar las narices. So if you're pushing my buttons, you're trying to provoke me where you know I can be provoked. You know, nobody knows how to push your buttons like a family member. They know exactly what to say to, right, to push someone's button. So why did the robot get upset? Because everyone was pushing his buttons. Okay, not the funniest joke in the world, but we've got to move on, folks, because it's time for famous birthdays.
Birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Oi. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's famous birthdays only on the show with no name. We got to go real fast here. The first person was born in 1964, an American singer, songwriter, guitarist, and actor. The guitarist of Rage Against the Machine. Also Audio Slave. And Prophets of Rage. And I didn't know this about him. Before joining any of those hardcore groups, those heavy groups, he was a touring musician with Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. So that's pretty interesting. He also has a group called the Night Watchman, which is interesting because it's like an acoustic, which is very different than Rage Against the Machine or Audio Slave, but definitely an awesome guitarist. Next up, we've got the woman who sings Let It Go, from Frozen. We looked at that word today in depth. She was also in the musical Rent. She was in Enchanted as well, and she is huge. She's got her own solo albums as well. And last but not least, this footballer from Liverpool was born in England. Well, obviously, as I just said. He's a manager, former player. He played for he managed most recently Aston Villa. Iba a decir, ¿cómo que Aston Villa? He played for Liverpool, and he was an institution in Liverpool, and he still is an institution in Liverpool, the city, and, well, I guess not at Everton. The arch rivals, no? Ahí no. Piscina Hígado, Liverpool. All right, our winner, Chris Valrol. Number one, Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine and Audio Slave. Number two, Idina Menzel. And number three, Steven Gerrard from Liverpool. He's a Liverpudlian. I don't know if that's the right accent, but let's take a look. This is Steven Gerrard, the Liverpool captain for so many years. I got to say, I'm a huge Gerrard fan. I love the guy. I think he just seems like a nice guy. Okay. And he goes, yeah, I'm excited. They were having like one of these games where all the old players come back and it's like a charity game. You know, oh, let's stop cancer, stop heart disease, whatever, you know, one of these ones to raise funds, recaudar fondos. And he's being interviewed in the press conference and he goes, what do you think here? You know, you're all here, or the big guys from back in the day. And he goes, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, now we're going to listen to it. So, yeah, I'm excited, he says. He goes, it's a bit surreal, surrealista, not silly, surreal. You know, seeing all the faces in the dressing room, viendo todas las caras en el cambiador, and having pre-match y teniendo pre-partido earlier with so many star names, con tantos nombres, estrellas. Obviously, ex-teammates and current teammates. So ex, antiguos, and current, actuales. It's a great occasion. So I think that was a little bit Scottish, but I have trouble telling the two apart. So those tough words, it was a bit surreal. I'm excited. He says pre-match. What else? Dressing room. And he says ex-teammates and current teammates. I think a great occasion was easy. So here he is, Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, excited. It's a bit surreal, really, you know, seeing all the faces in the dressing room and having pre-match earlier with so many star names and obviously ex-teammates and current teammates. It's a great occasion.
All right, amigos. And we don't even have time for the Name That Lyric jingle, but I just want to thank you guys before we say goodbye. Thank you for all your effort. You guys rock. You guys rock. Keep up the wonderful work. Stay tuned because you got Ximena Holiday, the one and only Ximena Holiday. She's great, and her program, Test Your English. In fact, you got great shows all afternoon long over here on Vaughn Radio. And we're going to say goodbye with Wake Up by Rage Against the Machine. And if you're not awake now, this song will definitely wake you up. Thanks again, folks. And it's been an absolute pleasure, as always. Let's rock. I think I heard a shot. I think I heard a shot.